Good evening, everybody. The transfer window has slammed shut. No more business for any clubs. Liverpool have done great business, in my opinion. I'm joined by Charlie to have a little chat about the transfer window in general, to reflect on the business done by Liverpool and other clubs, and of course to talk to you guys in the chat because this is your show. This is the Between the Lines Transfer Talk special. And Charlie, how are you doing this evening, sir?
Yeah, I'm good. Long day, but happy with everything that's happened today, I guess, especially with Liverpool. I mean, no one left apart from dead weight, so yeah.
We never call anybody dead weight, let's be fair. Even Simon Mignolet.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Can you really go that far?
Nah, fuck
But
him, he's dead weight. He's definitely dead weight,
I
actually.
mean, at the end of it, I'm on about things, but I think it's good. He just never really did any in a Liverpool shirt anyway, so
Yeah, that deal is interesting, actually, Charlie, along with a £20 million buy clause to buy at the end of it.
yeah. I guess Southampton are just skint at the moment, so they have to buy him next year. So
I wonder if
who
it's that
knows?
or if it's them just waiting to see if his knee holds up.
No, it's they have to pay it. I think it's. I'm pretty sure it's they have to pay it at the end of the year, 20 million.
It'd be
I'm
nice to
not too.
get some money back off Southampton for a change, won't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if we say that we got what Van Dijk for 55 million, steal.
Absolutely. Gonna dip into the chat and see who's in. Good evening to you all. Thank you for joining us tonight. We've got Liverpool fan El Chapo, Tom, Damo, Louis, Thomas, Papa, Brandon. Who else? We got Hay Lines, Cameron. Lots of people in the chat already. How do you think this window went, guys? As we always say, this is your show, so thank you for coming on and joining us. Fakir didn't work out. I can already see a couple of you in the chat. It is unfortunate. It would have been the icing on the cake, Charlie, if we could have gotten a bit of Fakir done.
I was so confident we were going to get him. I don't know why. Like for the whole time, I was just so confident, and then I woke up at like. Oh, because I work weird times, so I woke up at 4 o'clock and was like, I really hope it's done. I woke up and nothing was done. I was like, that's sad, but whatever. I mean, we've probably had the best window ever. It's just a centre attacking mid would have been a cherry on top of a really nice looking cake.
I was the exact same, I'm not going to lie, and I do want to just read out a few comments before I go any further. Louis said Mignolet and Divock Origi can still leave because the European window's open. Kieran is just pointing out that Southampton do have to pay it. But Charlie, it's so funny you mentioned waking up and checking your phone. I usually sleep very well, but like you, I keep really strange hours. I usually go to sleep about 6 a.m. and I wake up then about midday, 1 o'clock sometimes, depending on how quiet my house is. But like you,
Yeah.
I was waking up at 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock, constantly looking at my phone to see if there was any WhatsApp alerts, to see if anybody had signed or any of the guys in our group were sending that back and forth. And it must be the worst night's sleep I've had in a long time.
Yeah, well, I had I know you don't like them, Craig, but I had Sky Sport like notification on for Liverpool, and I think I woke up with one notification. So I think that's how it that pretty much summed up our transfer deadline day.
I can say I don't like Sky Sports, but you know what? I have a Sky subscription. I've been open about that one. But they did give us an absolute gem today. They gave us that
Oh,
line from Bernard when he came to Everton, and they were asking him why he came to the club, and he said, "What? No, I want to get this one right, so I'm gonna dip back into my little bag of tricks here, and get the exact phrase of this because it was absolutely priceless." So where's it gone? Oh, I think I've deleted it. Sorry guys, bear with me 2 seconds. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? This is absolutely priceless. So talking to Bernard, here it is, doing his interview, asking why he joined Everton Football Club. He gave the usual answers, Charlie. He gave the old, always wanted to play in the Premier League, heard they were a great club. But this for me was the funniest thing I've seen all window. They are historically among the four most successful clubs in England. Do you think that somebody just told him he was going to Liverpool and not what club, Charlie? Because that's a fucking whopper.
yeah, no, I mean they probably were just about top 10. I'd say Nottingham Forest are the bigger club than them. But I did see something on Twitter as well that said he'll be saying next week that he watched Dixie Dean growing up.
Yeah, that's
That made me.
somebody obviously sat him down and filled him full of a few lines.
Oh,
And I don't know
definitely.
what type of lines. I mean, they could have been filled with a different kind of lines that I'm talking about. If you get where I'm
Yeah, well,
coming from, but
yeah, well, it's like Richarlison when he joined and he said, I've been watching Everton since I was a kid. Fuck off, Abby, yeah.
he
You
must have had
weren't
some
watching,
great
like,
TV subscription over in Brazil to be watching them.
yeah, so who were playing for Everton in, like, the early 2000s. I know it wasn't a good
David
team.
Unsworth.
Yeah.
Kieran
Not
said.
names that stick out.
Kieran says, sick of Southampton stealing all our best players. I'm with you, Kieran, man. I'm fed up with them. Fucking coming in here taking our Danny Ings on loan with a view to a permanent deal. The fucking cheek of them, Charlie.
Yeah, I'm really sad that Dave did that. Oh no. I've made no secret at all that I don't rate Danny Ings at all. I think he's terrible at finishing and he's not good enough for Liverpool. I've heard he's a really nice guy, but I mean, I want good footballers, not good people at my club. So.
I do wish him all the best, though, to be fair. He had a
Oh no,
really
yeah,
bad time with
definitely.
injuries at Liverpool, and as you said, he seems like a lovely fella. He's never done anything derogatory towards the club, so yeah, he mightn't be at the level, but you do wish him the best, of course, and you've said that as well. Ben said, good if we didn't get a number 10, but still the best window I've ever seen for the Reds. Cameron says, El Jimbo said that the Fekir deal could be revived in January. And that seems really fucking strange to me, Charlie. Why wouldn't we get it done now rather than go back in January? Like, he'll be cup tied for the Champions League for a start.
Yeah, well, basically what I've been seeing is that Fekir only either wants to stay at Lyon or go to Liverpool. He doesn't want to go to Chelsea. I think they offered 60 million and they accepted, and Fekir said no, I don't want to go. So I mean, I don't think it'll be done in January. I can possibly see it being done next year, but not January. I think Liverpool are going to take another year to assess the situation with his injury.
Brandon Kelly said, only one off the books isn't that good. Mate, we've put 18 players out. 18 players have left Liverpool from this window, whether they be on loan, released, or gone to other clubs. And as somebody pointed out earlier on, we do still have the opportunity to sell the likes of Mignolet. I don't know what's going on with Karius, Origi. They can still go to European clubs, Charlie, until those windows close.
Yeah, which is looking likely. Probably, I mean, Mignolet is it Besiktas were interested, but they're signing a Spina and
And
Valencia.
Barcelona as well. We're interested in them.
Yeah, I did see something on about Mignolet Barcelona. It was like he was signing the contract, but things fell through when he dropped the pen.
Our
With
very
signing the...
our very own Gark Mulbridge, the good Gark Mulbridge in here in the chat said, poor old Gark travelled all the way down to London to talk about Manchester United transfer business. And you know what? He was an absolute fucking hypocrite when he went on Sky Sports. He spends his time, Charlie, on his own channel, moaning about Mourinho, saying how the transfer business just isn't good enough, asking for Mourinho's head on a couple of occasions, and then he goes on Sky Sports like butter wouldn't melt in his little garky mouth.
To be fair, I didn't actually see. I just saw pictures on Twitter and like a few small things. I think I joined quite late and he went off there, but I mean, he sticks out like a sore thumb, doesn't he? There,
You know,
like
my missus walked into the room just as he was coming on to the channel, and she said, what the fuck is that Egypt doing on Sky Sports? And she knows nothing about football, but she knows who Gark is.
who doesn't know who Gork is? I mean, he went into the mainstream media now. We'll see him on presenting Sky Sports with Gary Neville next.
He's defo getting a special hug from Mammy tonight, because no doubt poor old Gark is going to be awfully upset about that window. Imagine not being able to get a centre back. A club the size of Manchester United not being able to get a centre back. But they did say no to Yerry Mina, which lets you know exactly how good he is and why he's gone to Everton.
Yeah, well, I think United must have went through about 10 centre backs. They went in on the last day. Godin declined them.
Oh,
Uh,
Diego Godin stitched Manchester United up like a fucking kipper. Did you
his
see that?
his agent said to Man United that he wants to leave. I had no interest at all, and then that prompted Atletico. So I always say Atletico, it's Atletico, isn't it? No H, but anyway,
Just say it,
Atletico.
Atleti. That's the easiest way.
Yeah, yeah. Well, anyway, they give him a new contract worth like 8 million a year for a 32-year-old. So absolutely played them like a fiddle there, but
And Boateng
yeah,
told him to fuck off. Kovacic
yeah.
told him to fuck off.
Yeah, Boateng. There were so many names. It wouldn't surprise me if John Terry said no as well.
And poor old Slabhead wanted to sign, but Leicester weren't selling him. And I'm fucking delighted that Leicester didn't sell Maguire to
I
United.
no, I would have absolutely loved it because if you think about it, I was how many United fans do you see taking the piss out of us because we had the most expensive keeper and we've got the most expensive defender? Imagine if they signed Harry Maguire, who is he's not world class, he's average at best. He had a good World Cup. He's not a good player yet. He's young and he's got time to improve. But let's look at Mourinho's stats with young players.
He's
Not
got
good.
the world record head for a centre back. The size of his head. That's a world record.
So what, they wanted 80 million for Harry Maguire. I would imagine wasting 80 million on Harry Maguire would have been a thing of beauty.
I just want to dip back into the chat because the comments are really loading up here. So, Liverpool fan says Garrick's probably bawling his eyes out now that the Manx didn't sign more £50 million rip-offs. And I must point out there's still time for them to lose Paul Pogba in this window to Barcelona. So, if that happens, I mean, fuck's sake, I'd nearly pay for a subscription to Garrick's channel. What else?
Yeah.
Kieran says Fekir might refuse to play in the Champions League. Fekir won't be cup tied in January because the rules have changed. Have they changed? I know they changed. That is a good point, Dan. I do remember that they changed because I remember the situation that Arsenal were in with Aubameyang when they signed him. And I think it was that they could play in one competition that they couldn't play in another. But can a player who's... I think the rules were if you played in the Europa League, you couldn't play in the Champions League. But if you could play in the Champions League, you could play in the Europa League if you've gone to another club. I could be wrong on that. But have the rules changed now to allow you to play in the same competition for two clubs in the one season? And could be right, I just don't know.
I'd be surprised because I know they went through a few rule changes because they've got, if it goes into extra time, you have another substitution now in the Champions League and Europa League. So
that's proper order. To be fair, it is. That's a good idea.
Yeah, they've already did that. So yeah, I know they changed quite a few rules, but I'm not too sure if they changed that. I'd be surprised. I think if that's the rule they're looking at, they need to make it. If you let's say you're Arsenal, you transfer from Arsenal to United, you should be able to play in the Champions League. But if you transfer from like United to Real Madrid, I think you shouldn't be able to play in that competition. So if they're in the same competition, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so you're basically cup tied if you're playing in the same competition.
Yeah, but you can go to, let's say you're in the Europa League and you move to a club who's in the Champions League, you can play in the Champions League, etc.
That would make sense to me as well. Dirty Girl said, I hope Origi, Moreno, Mignolet can go. Sideman Rocks is just saying hello. Eric saying hello to everybody. What else have we got? Skipper Dog reckons that we may have a look at Lanzini once his injury clears up because we were actually heavily linked with Lanzini before his did he do his ACL as well?
Yeah, in the World Cup training, wasn't it? But he didn't even play a game.
How unlucky is that for him?
Ripped his ACL in training. But so that's like Ox again. So we'll have two people who could potentially have recurring injuries. I mean, is it worth it? I mean, I like Ox, but I think he's going to struggle to get back in the team now.
One thing I'll say there, though, is with ACLs, I've been looking into this a little bit lately, and I've been listening to Joe Rogan's podcast as well, and he was speaking about the ACLs and the recovery period from them. They're getting better and better and better, Charlie, at what they can do to get people back from these injuries, both quicker and making the ligament or the tendon a lot better than it was.
Yeah, there's two ways, isn't there? You can do a fast way that takes about... like here's a 6 to 9 months, and then there's a longer one that pretty much every team's doing now. It takes about a year. So
I think somebody said they're called an allograft and an autograft or something like that. And one of them, as you said rightly, your recovery period is a lot quicker, but the operation doesn't last as long, or your knee may well have to be redone in the future. And then you've said there's the other one that takes much longer to recover from, but it's probably a long-term solution. And it seems that Fekir had the one with the shorter recovery period, and that may be what Liverpool were unhappy with.
Yeah, and I think Ox must be having the long one, so...
I no doubt they will. Liverpool will definitely be looking long-term with Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, definitely.
Yeah, well, his physio is with him in Spain. That's a good... the Liverpool physio went out to Spain with him on his holiday, so...
Did you see the View when he was getting his work done? He posted a picture up the other day, and he was like, "Oh my God, what a place that was!"
Yeah, Perry Edwards. She's not too bad on the sunbed as well.
Do you know what though? Fair play to him. I really like Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. He seems like a
Yeah,
top
he
bloke.
seems like a nice guy.
He's
Yeah.
done some great stuff as well for fans, particularly younger fans in and around the club. Fair fucks to him. He seems like a good little lad. Thomas
Yeah.
Boland said Klopp won the transfer window, deals done early, and the new players practically had a full season. Fabinho a doubt for West Ham, said Ben. Ben will touch on that one a little bit later on. The way this is working from now on and tonight, guys, is this stream will be an hour long, and then I'll take maybe a 5 or 10 minute break, and I'll be coming straight back on with another stream, but with a different subject matter. So this one is to look back over the transfer window and see how we all feel about it, and then after that, I'll be looking ahead to the Premier League season. So I hope you can join me for that one as well. What else have we got? Louis said, I'd say it's an 8 out of 10 window. Would have liked a backup goalkeeper or a centre back and an attacking mid. El Chapo said, he's a redneck hillbilly, mental health issues, I say. Junior said, is Lanzini out all season? I honestly don't know, mate. It depends. The ACLs can go either way. We've seen with Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. His one may keep him out for the entire season. So I've no idea what method they use for Lanzini, so I couldn't tell you. Randy said, Evening Craig, somehow I feel cheated that Fekir didn't get the sign. Just leaves a sour taste in the mouth. Most importantly, what will Fekir think about us now? Mate, I honestly don't know. I really want to know more about this, Charlie. I want to know what happened in this deal, and I wonder if the details will slowly start coming out, because we know Olas can't keep his fucking mouth shut.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a bit weird because it looks like it does in Chelsea, and it seems like he only wants Liverpool. I mean, he's been pictured in the Liverpool kit. He's give his interview. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like he's Leon's captain. Leon, he went through the academy, been there since he was young. He's their captain. I don't think they'll turn his back on him, so he's definitely still getting game time. But I think, I honest to God think he won't join Chelsea. I think he's got his eye. I think he's like Van Dijk. He has his eyes set on it now because he's already agreed a deal with us. He was basically a Liverpool player, let's be honest, and then it got taken away from him. I mean, imagine if that was you, how you'd feel. You'd want to try everything you could to impress the club and get a transfer. So I think he's going to stay there this whole season, try and do his hardest. I don't know what competition Lyon are in, but maybe win something with them, and then maybe Michael Edwards will be like, okay, they said the injury hasn't affected him, so let's go in for him. Hopefully, that's what I'm hoping for.
I have no doubt that whatever happened here, Klopp will, whether he spoke to the player directly, I don't know, but he will have got word to the player to explain the situation clearly, because that's the way Klopp operates. He wouldn't just leave the guy high and dry.
No, definitely not, especially not under Aulas, keeping him hostage in there. We'll save you, Fekir.
Yeah, we'll do our best. We'll get you in, mate. Don't you worry about it. We'll treat you properly. So Gark Mulbridge said, trust me, Gark is fuming about it. And I keep saying Gark Mulbridge. I mean our Gark. We have our very own Gark Mulbridge in here. He cancelled his stream tonight as he was that pissed off. I honestly didn't know that. But I'd never do that to you guys. See, that's what I mean. That's the difference between me and Gark. I've had shitty days where I didn't want to come on and do anything. But I know that people, not rely on me, but people enjoy what we do. And often when I come on, and maybe if Gark had done the same, come on Charlie, you may be in a bad mood, but you have a bit of a laugh with the people involved in the chat and it lifts your spirits.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, surely it's not like he's mad, obviously, if it's a personal issue with his family, fair enough. But he's mad about United. Surely you want to go on stream, get it all off your chest. And I mean, at the end of the day, he gets views, like, fair play to him. It's like no DT and Troops.
Yes,
they're controversial, but to be fair, I do respect them because they've come from nothing and look at them now. Yes, they have different views. Every club has different views. They get mad. They say it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's the best place if you're mad to get it off your chest. So I don't know why he's cancelled it, but whatever. Shame, unlucky for him.
Do you know what? I agree. I think anybody that takes the time to make content deserves praise. I mean, it takes a lot of effort to come on night after night, edit stuff, make stuff, record stuff. So I might not agree or like a lot of people, but I'll always respect people that do make the content because I know how much effort it takes. Joseph said he keeps ringing the champ, but without him he wouldn't even be. I don't know what that is actually. We miss Fekir, Christmas Klopp will try for Lanzini as he was number one target. Hey Lion said, I agree with you, Cameron. Thomas Boland says, Junior, according to physioroom.com, he's back early 2019. I think that's with regards to Lanzini. Sideman Rock said, how's it going, everybody? Great to have you back, by the way, mate. Thank you for joining tonight's stream. Guys, tonight could be a big one. Charlie, we could be doing it tonight, buddy. I think we're like 33, 36, something like that, followers away from hitting 3,000 subscribers. If you are watching this stream, I don't know how your club did this window. If you're a Liverpool fan, then I hope you're happy. But if you're watching the stream, if it's the first time, please, please, please do take a moment and hit that subscribe button. Because, Charlie, 3K before the season starts would be a massive achievement.
3K in pre-season. I mean, the support we've had is unreal. Like, it's so hard to grow on YouTube, and everyone's just been so supportive. I mean, 3K in what? When did we set up the channel? 2 months ago? 3 months ago?
Honestly, we've had the channel for a while, but all we used to do was just fuck up our podcasts on there. Like, and I mean, not even videos, just put the podcasts up and do nothing. So we started taking it seriously about 10, 12 weeks ago.
So yeah. So coming up to 3 months, and it's 3K. That's crazy. I mean, I looked at our YouTube stats, and we've had 168 subs. 100 something crazy in a week. I should have had it in my head, but the amount of views and stuff, I think it was 1.4 million minutes watch time.
And that's in the last 28 days. Yeah, it's fucking nuts. So as we're saying, guys, if you are watching, and Charlie pointed out, it's very hard to grow on YouTube, particularly if you're not out there doing crazy things just to get subscribers. So if you are watching and you enjoy the content, we've had so many amazing people join us so far, and the journey's only just beginning here in the Anfield Agenda. What do you get if you subscribe? Well, you get all our podcasts 100% free. You'll get all our watch-alongs for every Liverpool game this season. You'll get our post-match shows afterwards. You'll get some pre-recorded stuff as well, some previews, some match ratings, which I think you're going to do for us, Charlie, throughout the season.
Yeah, that's my job. You might be seeing me more on the channel as well, but we've got loads of stuff planned. Game days and before game days, after game days, every day there's going to be loads and loads of content for everyone to watch. It's going to be a good time for the channel.
We're also adding new contributors all the time. We're bringing new people on to increase the content that we're making. And like we said all along, everything we do is 100% free, and it always will be. So it's the perfect time to subscribe to Anfield Agenda, because you're going to get a lot of free content. And most importantly, you're going to get to meet some amazing Reds along the way, which has definitely been the highlight for me. Conan Falvey says, hey Craig, missed a lot of the transfer news. Any big moves? There's been a few from Everton. Charlie, do you know what? Everton have declared themselves the winners of this transfer window. Let's have a little look at who they've brought in, right? So they brought in Yerry Mina, Bernard. They got
Bernard. I'm going to say it's sick. That's such a good sign, and I would have loved him at Liverpool, but I think he's better than Fred. Anyway, sorry, go on.
Yeah, I'll go through them, but I do want to go back to Bernard in a second. So we've got Bernard, we've got Yerry Mina, they've got Kurt Zuma on loan by the looks of things. They got in Richarlison for 50 odd million. I know I'm missing somebody else that they brought in here in this window.
Andre Gomez
from Barcelona on loan. So if we look at those, and I know there's one or two more that I'm forgetting about, but if we look at those, what I see there is a group of players that other clubs didn't want. And I'm going to be honest here. Yerry Mina and Andre Gomes were being offered to Manchester United for the Pogba deal as make-weights in the Pogba deal. Yerry Mina has been offered to pretty much every fucking English club at this point. Bernard is an interesting one, and we spoke about this on the Transfer Talk podcast. We just finished recording that, and that's why we were so late coming on here tonight, guys. Myself, Chris and Christian recorded the last Transfer Talk podcast of this window. So it's first one having Christian back. He's been on his holidays for a while. So it was great fun. We'll upload that later on. If you want to look at it or listen to it on the podcast apps, whether it's Spotify, iTunes, Acast, Podbean, Castbox, whatever it is, that's already uploaded and available. Just search Anfield Agenda and you can get the podcast on there. But Charlie, going back to Bernard, it sort of reminds me of the Max Meyer situation in that he's a player with undoubted ability. As you said, he's a very good footballer. But why were the top clubs not in for him? That baffles me, particularly because they were free transfers. Let's look at Bernard firstly, but it's nuts to me, mate. I don't get it. Something has to be going on there that none of the top clubs, Spurs in particular, look at the situation they're in.
Yeah, well, it's like, I mean, as you said, Max Meyer probably went to a bigger club than Everton. I mean, maybe he just wanted bigger aspirations at Palace. But I don't know. Bernard, I honest to God think he's better than Fred, and I'll say that right now. I think he'll have a better season with Everton than Fred. But I don't know. It must be attitude problem, mustn't it? It has to be. So I'm not too sure, but I just remembered the other person as well, Lucas Digne, the one with "You'll Never Walk
Oh
Alone" across
yes,
the chest.
yes. Lucas in your left. Do you know what? To be fair, he's not a bad player, but he was third choice at Barcelona. And look,
And he
that is
does
a
look
position
like,
that they needed strengthening. I'm going to be honest and say that. And I'm not slagging off Everton here. I think they've had a decent window. Don't get
oh
me
yeah,
wrong,
yeah,
but the way some of their fans are going on, they're saying that they got these players from underneath the noses of other clubs, and that's just what I'm not buying here at all.
no, they got it out the noses of other clubs. Excess waste that nobody wants.
That's pretty
But
much
yeah,
that's pretty much where I am with this one as well. But I do think, you know what, they've definitely strengthened. Let's be fair here, they've definitely strengthened their hand going forward.
yeah, definitely. Loads of little clubs have. I mean, I'm not saying well, I'm saying Everton are a little club, but not as big as they used to be. But you look at Fulham, Wolves, Everton, especially Fulham. Even Crystal Palace have made a few decent signings. So
I think
yeah, I think
Fulham getting what's his name in, is it Sari, or what's the guy's name, the midfielder?
Seri.
Sarri, Jean Paul Sarri, or Jean Michel Sarri, whatever his name is. And they brought in a goalkeeper today as well, didn't they?
Yeah, Sergio Rico is his name.
Yes, you know what, that's
From
pretty good business for Fulham. And
yeah,
there's some more signings on top of that.
yes, I'd say Sergio Rico is better than Kepa.
That's a big
So
show. That's a big
definitely,
show.
honest to God, he'll have a better season than this Kepa bloke. I knew Sergio Rico was, I didn't know who Kepa was.
To be fair, I was only alerted to Kepa, and it was by somebody on the stream here a few months back. I didn't know much about him, I have to be honest, and I do pride myself in knowing goalkeepers, but I really didn't know much about Kepa. Touching on Kepa, guys, I want to put this to you in the chat. Are you delighted that the tag of being the world's most expensive goalkeeper has now been removed from the shoulders of Alisson Becker and placed squarely on the shoulders of a 23-year-old young man from Atletico Bilbao? Charlie, you mentioned this to me earlier on. You were the first person that I remember saying this to me about the pressure coming off Alisson over the world's most expensive goalkeeper tag.
Yeah, it seems like it's not the biggest thing. I mean, it's just a tag, but I do think it is. It's going to be a massive thing for Allison, especially with his confidence. So, I mean, at the end of the day, this guy, who did he play for? Bilbao. Where did they finish? 16th. He conceded 49 goals. I mean, this guy he's not worth 71 million. I don't care what any Chelsea fan says. You've just sold a top five goalkeeper in the world for 35 million. I
Well, see, that's kind of where I am on this one. They've sold, as you said, one of the best goalkeepers in the world for £35 million, something like that. And they've had to double that. So they've had to spend another 36, 37 million to basically weaken themselves a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. Look at the people who you could have got. Kasper Schmeichel. You could have got him for what? I know he's older, but you could have got him for I'd say 40 million. They'd accept. Jordan Pickford could have got him. Who else? There's even Sergio Rico. Trust me, he's gonna be sick. I actually really like him. But I don't know. It's baffling me that Chelsea fans think that he's better than Alisson. Who is he? I didn't know who he was the other day. Like this guy, and he's just. And I used to put on Twitter, nothing's being made of it. Nothing. Like no one's making a big deal out of it like they did with Alisson. It's just gone under the rug. Like, oh yeah, they signed this random 22-year-old keeper who's worth now 71 million, who's never ever achieved nothing in his life. I mean, he can't even get past Pepe Reina in Spain's team. He's their third choice keeper. Pepe Reina's like a million. It's baffling me.
To be fair to him, he is only 23 years of age, so we do have to give him time to develop. El Chapo said, Gary Neville said United will sign 3 players today. How wrong was he? Man U, no one wants to sign for, no matter how many names are on the list. That is true, and look, I think Mourinho was a massive part of this. We spoke about it again on the Transfer Talk pod that I think nobody wants to come and play for Mourinho, and I think Mourinho might be dead man walking. What do you think, Charlie?
I think he's lost his he's lost his like mojo, if that makes sense. I think when he first joined Chelsea, it was different. It was exciting. The style of football was still pretty dead, but it was something like people hadn't seen, and he did it differently. But I think the press now are just getting sick of it, and it's given off a negative vibe to the club. It's given off a negative vibe for him, and with that, players don't want to play for that. Players want to play for a project, something that's getting built. That's why people want to play for Klopp. I mean, all these fans might not say it, but the fact is, Naby Keita declined Bayern Munich and Barcelona. Van Dijk declined Chelsea and Man City. Alisson uh, declined Chelsea. If Real Madrid would have come in, I reckon he would have went to Real, but he
Yeah, I
didn't.
think
So
you're right.
whatever.
I think we've accepted that one. I think Real was Alisson's first choice, if we're being honest.
At the end of the day, he's a Liverpool player, but still, at the end of the day, people want to play for Klopp. People want to build something with this Liverpool team. Our average age is what, 24, and it's like it's crazy that it's 24 when you actually think about it. Everyone in our team, but probably longer. Like what, players can go older now. So imagine that let's say we win the Prem in that time, then that all of a sudden just makes us even more attractive to younger talent. So with Mourinho, he's trying to sign 30-year-olds, 29-year-olds who have already had the best or who are petering out. And it's just a negative vibe around their camp, and I don't see why anyone would want to play for it.
So
So
I keep going back to it, but we did speak about this subject on the Transfer Talk pod, and my theory on this one was that I think Ed Woodward looked at what Charlie was talking about there, guys, and said Mourinho keeps trying to bring in these players that are at maybe the peak of their career, just tipping towards the end of it, for big money that have no sell on value to the club. And Ed Woodward wanted to look towards bringing in younger players that may develop there, they may build a squad around them, or they may sell them on for a profit. But Christian, one of the guys on our podcast, came up with a really interesting theory, and I want to know what you guys in the chat think of this one. So Christian reckons that one, Manchester United have pretty much got Zinedine Zidane lined up as their next manager, and he also thinks that Mourinho will move back to Inter Milan, and he thinks that some of the transfer dealings that are going on with Inter Milan are being almost steered by Jose Mourinho. What about that one, Charlie?
is Zidane not in Qatar managing their national team
I don't think
or
he's
in
done that
Dubai?
yet. There was talk of a monster deal from Norway to go to Qatar
Yeah,
and run the Football
it was
Federation.
it was £33 million or like euros a year for him to run it.
It was crazy money, absolutely.
I just assumed that went in, but clearly not. But I mean, if that happens, he has to get a new team. Like they need a whole new defense. If in that time just De Gea stay and maybe wait it out another year, or does he go to a Barcelona or to a bigger team? Like the I don't know. It could happen, but it's like I think he'll get sacked halfway through the year. Personally, that's my guess. I think fans are going to get sick of the football. It's not enjoyable to watch. They're not going to be getting results. Uh, but yeah, I mean, with the Inter Milan thing as well, I know they want to sign Perisic, didn't he? Mourinho really wanted
Dying to
Perisic.
sign fucking Perisic. He's one, and he is the
Yeah,
most Jose Mourinho type player you'll ever
yeah.
see.
And so maybe he ended up just saying, you know what, if I can't get him, let's just move there and I'll just build something there because if they want me, they're willing to spend money on me. I mean, it looked like they were trying to sign the whole Croatian team at one point, didn't they? They
He's
ended up signing.
adored at Inter Milan still, by the way, because of what he did there with the Champions League.
Yeah, well, they signed Vasalco from Atletico Madrid, which is a really good signing, and they were looking at Modric, weren't they? But Perez, their president, come out and said you can have him, but for 750 million.
Yeah, that's
So
his release clause or
that
something in his contract.
yeah,
So Louis said Kepa only kept 7 clean sheets last year. Amit Ored said Chavs did a huge favour paying that much. What else have we got? How will my Anfield reception be? Asked Nabil Fekir, because somebody's obviously clearly changed their name to Nabil Fekir here in our chat, and he's a mod as well, so that's interesting. Cobra said nobody wants to play under Mourinho. He keeps destroying players, bad mouthing them in the press, etc. United are free falling and will hit the bottom quick if Mourinho stays there. Dirty Girl asked where did Bilbao finish. I think Charlie, you said 16th, was it?
16th, yeah, 16th.
In a pretty poor La Liga, to be honest, Charlie. I mean, the standard last season wasn't great right across La Liga.
No, definitely not. I mean, if you're not doing good in that, and he played every single game, you know, he had one good game against Real Madrid. That's what I've heard their fans saying. Because I noticed, like on Twitter, they were all made up. I mean, why wouldn't you be? You just got 71 million for an average keeper. Yeah, he might have a lot of talent, but there's no guarantee in that. I mean, look at some of the players who've had talent and where they are now. So, yeah, stupid signing again. I mean, I don't get why Chelsea fans are happy, but we've already done that. So,
Pepper Red said, we're buying the league, but we've earned the right to. And I love that. I actually love that entire sentence, mate. Well said, because we are buying the league possibly, and we're certainly buying the best players in this window. But as you've rightly fucking said, it's our money. We've brought this money in, or we've earned this money from TV revenue, Champions League revenue, Coutinho being sold. So you're absolutely spot on, mate. Fuck them. Fuck everybody. All the haters. I've said this all along throughout the window. Fuck United. Double fuck Spurs, by the way, who are absolutely fucking a laughing stock. The first club in the history of the top flight in the English divisions to not do any business during a transfer window or summer transfer window, Charlie. That is ludicrous.
yeah, I don't know if you saw what Craig Bellamy said. He said signing Harry Kane up to a new deal is the best transfer of this win is basically better than a transfer. And he said if it was a transfer, it would be the best transfer of the window. Okay, well it's not. Well, I was speaking to my friend and I said to him, why are all pundits who used to be Liverpool fans the worst pundits or Liverpool players? Look like Danny Murphy, Craig Bellamy. I mean, they all just seem to be terrible. But yeah, I don't know. Also, too, I don't know if you saw. Is it Phil Thompson? He's before my time.
Oh yeah, Tomo,
Liverpool
yeah.
player. Does soccer sat or no Super Saturday something? I don't even watch it, but whatever. They asked him, do they think Everton is going to finish above Liverpool with all the transfers?
Oh, I've
And he
seen
just
this.
burst out. He burst out laughing and just laughed for like a minute straight. So I thought that was funny, but yeah, I mean, whatever. I do love all the assaults from all the other fans.
Gary Richards said, Ings to Southampton, thoughts, Craig? I think it's a good move for everybody concerned, Gary. I've nothing but good wishes for Danny Ings. I hope he gets through his injury issues. I hope he goes to Southampton and does well. It looks like the deal means they've got to pay us 20 million quid next season for him, which is good business. I can't remember, was it 8.5 million or something we ended up paying after the tribunal? I think it was something like that. But
yeah, I'm not sure.
Just happy for the guy, Gary, mate. I'm happy that he's going to go and get some first team football. I'm just happy he seems injury free. I really have a lot of good wishes for the guy because he's never done anything wrong, and he just seemed to have one thing after another at Liverpool and it didn't work out for him, and sometimes that happens in football, but he's definitely good enough to play in the Premier League, and let's see how he gets on there at Southampton. Fuck Nabil, we've got Naby, said Paul Turner. And you know what, guys, I actually ordered the purple Liverpool shirt today and I got K to 8 on the back. I was humming and hawing all summer which kit I was going to get a name on. I bought the grey kit, the European one, and I just got the badges on it. I got the home kit, again just the Premier League badge, but for this one I thought, do you know what, I'm going to go balls out. I'm going to get a name and the number on the back of it. And it didn't even take me 2 seconds to decide. It was between Robbo and Keita, and I went with Naby Keita, and you know what, I cannot wait to wear that shirt. I'm really looking forward to seeing Naby Keita tearing the Premier League a new asshole, Charlie.
Yeah, he's going to be what United fans want Pogba to be. He's going to. I mean, listen, we can't say he's going to be unreal because it happened with Pogba. He was unreal at Juventus, but to be fair, he moved to a Mourinho Man United. So, was it Mourinho at the time? Anyway, moved to Man United, but everything looks so promising so far. So hopefully he's going to tear it up. I'm really hopeful that he will.
Ivan Costa said, obsessed with Manchester United. Mate, honestly, we're poking fun at them. You may be a United fan, and look, firstly, you're always welcome into the chat. We welcome everybody as long as they're respectful into the chat. I can assure you, we're far from obsessed about Manchester United. Where you guys are a fucking laughing stock at this point.
Yeah.
The fan base is pulling their hair out. Your manager's a joke. You're a club that deserve better. I mean, I don't like United. Obviously, they're our rivals, but you've established yourself as one of, if not the biggest club in world football with regards to the finances anyway. So for this to be happening, I mean, you could say we're obsessed with Manchester United all you want, buddy, but if you're a United fan, you're the poor fucker that's going to have to sit here this season and watch the shite that Jose Mourinho was going to dish up week after week after week, while we're laying back looking at Klopp's team going out there, attack, banging goals in left, right and centre. Mo Salah, Firmino, Mane, Naby Keita, Sheridan Shaqiri as well, Fabinho and Virgil van Dijk, Alisson Becker. So fuck you if you think we're obsessed with Manchester United, because really we aren't, mate. We're poking fun at them. There's a massive difference there. Where else are we? United will have a big spend every decade now, said James. Kepa's no keeper, says Amidared. 80% of Jose signs have been under 28. Stats aside, if the football does not improve, he'll lose 90% of his fans. So 80% of Mourinho signings have been under 28. Again, this guy keeps pulling out stats. This is the same guy. What's his name? The Dead Distar? Or I can't remember. Tippy. We'll call him Tippy. He pulls out stats all the time, but I've never seen any proof of these stats, mate. You just keep pulling them out with thin air and just throwing. And they're always round numbers as well, which I find hilarious. It's never 67% or anything like that. It's always 80, 60, 50.
It might be good working for Mundo Sporto.
Oh, he could be. Yeah, he could be. Did you see actually in Mundo Sporto today?
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that? Deluded Brendan responded, to Manuel, one of Manuel's tweets.
Yeah, Cavani joining. Brendan Rodgers is demanding that he sign PSG's Edison Cavani. Deluded Brendan ended up quoting a saying I tweeted from the wrong account. So
Manuel's making waves. Like Mundo Sporto is where they need to be, at the top. Dave said, Craig, how do I get a spanner after my name? You now have one, mate. I mean, that's where we go. You're absolutely deserving of one, Dave. There you go, my friend. Congrats and thank you for always being in the chat, buddy, and for supporting us since day one. Right, what else have we got? I want to get through so many of these comments, Charlie, because we're running out of time here before. We've got about 15 minutes left in this stream before we move on then to look at the Premier League predictions. Craig, what do you think about Chelsea's transfers? Asked Finley. They don't impress me, mate. They really don't. If you look at their midfield, they have a very, very good midfield there with Jorginho, with Kante, who was already there, of course. And what were you saying?
Sorry, I was just Kante and Kovacic, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The really good midfielders there, but there isn't a fucking goal between them. That's the problem I see there with their midfield. Really solid, really good, would keep the ball moving, but a lot of pressure on Hazard and the front players then to put the goals in, because there's no goals going to come from that midfield. But look, they're all good players. Samian said Fred is shit. Squism said Spurs spent all their transfer fund on gold-plated loos in the new N17 stadium. Don't forget the cheese room, Squisms. It's very important that we talk about Spurs' cheese room in their new stadium. Our very own Garth Mulbert says Keita looks like more of an action box-to-box midfielder to me. Pogba's more of an advanced midfielder that needs somebody alongside him to do all the hard work. The Raptor says, I tell you what, of all the other supporters, City fans are the least prone to trolling elsewhere. Fair play to them. I don't know if I'd agree with that, to be fair, especially not on Twitter. I mean, have you not seen that? What's that fucking Egypt? Guardiolista, is that his name? That Mongo on Twitter? Yeah,
Guardiolista. I follow two Manchester City fans on Twitter. Two. And I only follow one of them because I know them, and the other person's like a YouTuber or like part of a YouTube group. And I swear to God, they never shut up about Liverpool. I'm going to say 80% of their tweets are about Liverpool. They're obsessed with us. That's all they talk about. And there was a guy as well on, the Sky Sports tweet. So many City fans on that one. They were talking crap all the time. Like, and I ended up speaking to one, and he was like,
"Oh, Charlie's chat is dropping out there."
Oh, sorry. Is it better?
No, it's happened a couple of times. It just goes for 1 second and then you come back. It's grand. You can still make out what you're saying. Don't worry about it. Got to push on though. Want to get through some of these comments. Craig, Southampton's kit is Under Armour and it's well smart. I hope we get Under Armour kit next season. What do you think? I don't think our kit deal is up next season, mate. I've seen a couple of people mention this on Twitter. I think there's more than a season to go. I think there's a couple of seasons at least left on that deal, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
Dave,
there is.
Dave Trainer's going 2-0 to the Reds on Sunday, and we will talk about that a little bit more in the next stream. We'll definitely be looking ahead to the West Ham game. Who else have we got in here? Ahmed Arad said, United have banned all players from giving autographs. They don't want to show up Mourinho by signing anything. That's a good post, to be fair. Matthew Jones said, United did not get that elusive defender in. And if memory serves me correct, Matthew is a Manchester United fan, if I remember correctly. A very nice guy, by the way. So Matthew, welcome. And yeah, buddy, you didn't get it. You didn't get that centre-back in. And you've got to be fuming, mate. You really do. You've got to look at this window and just think, what the fuck is going on at your club? Because look, you brought in Fred. Mourinho wanted Fred. He came in. No problem with that deal. It's a good piece of business, but to not get the centre back in that you guys wanted seems absolutely crazy.
Or the left back, or the winger, or the centre back.
And to have Diego Godin and a couple of other players take the piss basically out of United the way they did, it's not a good sign.
No, definitely not.
Kang Ozzy said LFC had 638 shots last season, United 512. Who would want to play for Mourinho? And of those 512 shots United have had, I wonder how many of them were crosses into the box that, like, from wide areas to someone's head.
Yeah, or Pogba shooting the ball like a million miles away for a throw-in.
Louis said, I hate Tottenham fans, they're fucking shit. I hope they fail in their new stadium and flop during the season. I'm glad they signed no one after trying to start some shit rivalry. Yeah, they really do want to start a rivalry that just doesn't exist with Liverpool fans there. They really want to try and make themselves relevant, but they aren't at this moment in time. I don't care if they finish above us every season for the next 10 years. They still won fuck all and they're still not relevant to us. The blue looks good, said a couple of people to Dave on the spanner. Just another mention, guys, if you are watching the stream, try and help us hit that 3k target tonight. Do subscribe if you're watching. We've set this a couple of weeks ago to try and get there before the season started. Maybe somebody can let me know. Charlie, you might be able to see it on your screen, or somebody in the chat. What are we at this moment in time? Have we moved any closer to that 3k? I think we can do it tonight. And what a way to do it, right at the end of the transfer window. Seems the perfect way to hit that 3k. So please do subscribe if you're watching.
Yeah, we've went up 5, so
how far away are we now?
35 away.
Right, guys, 35 to go. We've about an hour and 15, an hour and 20 left on the streams we're doing tonight. If you're watching, do hit that subscribe button. Make this bald Irishman very happy, and send Connor to Space Camp, because we promised to send Connor to Space Camp if we get 3,000 subscribers. He doesn't know that Space Camp is only going to be a mile down the road from his gaff, Charlie, because we're broke, but
that is the goal. That's the goal of this whole channel. Literally, the only goal is to send Connor to Space Camp.
It really is. It really
Nothing
is.
else matters.
But look, if you are watching, and look, we've so many people that are already subscribed, and we thank each and every one of them for the time they give us, but it would really mean a lot to us to hit that 3k. Squism said, Alexis has already thrown his ties out of the pram, moaning for world-class players, the Manx imploding. There's a little bit too much, actually, United talk. We're going to try and steer away from that now. It is fun to poke fun at them, but the last 15 minutes of this stream, guys, I want to know what's your thoughts on Liverpool in this window. Are you happy? Do you think we've done all the business we needed to? Are you a little bit sad that we perhaps didn't get Nabil Fekir in or a centre-back? For me, it was all about the goalkeeper situation. I've said it all window. The goalkeeper situation was key to me being happy in this window. We signed the exact keeper I wanted, so I'm over the moon with that one. Nabil Fekir would have been lovely, but I've always said if the club didn't do it, there's a reason behind it, and I fully back whatever reasoning the club have for not signing it, because I know that it was done in the best interest of Liverpool Football Club. So, and our own Nabil Fekir in the chat now is saying, look, if we hit 3,000 subscribers tonight, he'll sign for Liverpool in January. So there you go. What better incentive to hit that subscribe button than have Nabil Fekir here say he'll sign for us in January, Charlie? It doesn't get better than that.
No, definitely doesn't. Come over. I mean, he can always give us a shout out as well. Be like, oh yeah, Anfield Agenda. They made me sign. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm under the vote of I would have liked them, but it's not the biggest deal. So,
do you know what? I've been pleasantly surprised by Shaqiri, and the quality that he's shown so far. So if we don't sign him and Shaqiri carries on the form that he's had in pre-season, then do you know what? 13.5 million for him is going to be one hell of a bargain.
I'll tell you right now, and people can bookmark this. Liverpool, I swear to God, yeah, every single Liverpool player is going to get, not player, every single Liverpool attacker, so Mane, Salah, Firmino, both are all going to get over 20 goals this season in the Prem. And I swear to God, Shaqiri's getting over 15. I don't care what anyone says, we're getting 150 goals this year.
There you go. Boom. I'm fucking having that. 150 goals. What's that, an average of 4.5 a game or something like that? That'd do very nicely indeed.
We will do it. We'll bang what? I reckon 25 in one game against, like, who were crap, Cardiff. Yeah, just go up there and just slaughter them. They end up just giving up the game and just, like, laying down on the pitch, and we just run goals. get Arsenal a few goals. But, yeah, I'm so confident about goals this season. I am not sure if Salah's going to get as many as he did, but I think everyone's going to get over 20 goals, including Firmino. And I think this is the season that Mane is going to step up. He's going to step up and show what he's worth.
Do you know what? I think he's stepped up, though. I think people are being a little bit too harsh on Mane. He did better numbers last year than he did the year before.
Last season, he's... So do you know, I don't know if you know him, a lot of fans like to go on about him. This guy called Eden Hazard, apparently he's the best player in the Premier League.
Oh, is that the guy who wants to play for Real Madrid, that fella?
Oh, yeah, that's him. Basically, his best ever season was 2 less goals than Mane and 1 less assist than Mane. In Mane's underwhelming season for Sadio Mane, would you say, last season? And Sadio Mane got 2 more goals and 1 less assist than him. So
there you go. Eden Hazard's a fucking fraud. There you go.
Yeah.
Sadio Mane is the way forward. Pepper Red said he's totally happy with the incomings. El Chapo said the fantasy football is really good to pick teams in, but I'm after changing my fucking team about 50 times. I forgot to mention that Charlie set up, we call it the Diet Chav Invitational. So it's a fantasy football league just for our subscribers here on YouTube. So I'm going to put the code into the chat right now. If you haven't already signed up, it's on the official Premier League's website. So that's the fantasy football league we're talking about here. So I'm going to put the into the chat right now for you guys. I'll read it out as well, just in case there's people watching it back and they want to hear it. You know, maybe they haven't got something to write it down, or maybe they can jump onto the site and do it now. So the code is 69017-301449. So once again, the code is 69017-301449. So that's the code for the Diet Chav Invitational, which is the Fantasy Premier League set up by Charlie for the Anfield Agenda YouTube subs. And I've put that into the chat there as well now. So I hope as many of you guys can join as possible. Charlie, where do you stand on Fantasy Prem? Do you like them?
Yeah, I'm sorry if you join that league. It's pretty much game over already because I'm gonna win it. Like, there's no question about it. Nobody joking, but yeah, I love Fantasy League. I've got a few with my friends. I usually have a few bets on them every year. Just like with a couple of my friends. I had one last year that with about 5 of my mates ended up losing it on the last day, which was pretty depressing. But yeah, I mean, I love fantasy football. It's good to get into. I also do Super 6 as well, and that's quite fun. I've never ever got many right, but it's fun to do.
Yeah, so if you are interested, you do like Fantasy Premier Leagues, join the Diet Chav Invitation. We'll sort out some prizes and stuff in the next couple of weeks. Yeah. We're just really busy at the minute.
Breaking news, we've hit 3,000 subscribers.
No, we haven't.
Yeah, we have, I swear to God.
We've hit 3K. You guys are fucking legends. I love each and every one of you 3,000 people. Thank you so very much. You've made my night. You've no idea. I thought we might scrape it halfway through the second stream or towards the end of it. But thank you. I know, Connor, I'm going to be talking to Connor later on tonight. We have a call arranged for about 1 a.m. That's how mad our schedules are. But that's absolutely brilliant, Charlie.
35 subs in 4 minutes. That's crazy.
You guys are just you're fucking unbelievable. Do you know what? I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much. And the good news keeps coming. Pepper Red, I just seen his comment in the chat here. He said Sean Blackmore is sound. Everyone, I chatted to him earlier on Cop Talk. Thank you so much for putting that in the chat, Pepper Red. I've been thinking a lot about Sean lately. Thank you. That really means a lot. So the good news from the 3K and the even better news there. about Sean Blackmore. I hope he drops back in as well soon, because I miss having Sean in here and chatting to him. He's a great lad, so thank you for that one, Pepperhead. Is that really Nabil Fekir? That's somebody else? No, mate. It's if only it was. Let's put it that way. If only it was. A few more comments before we finish up. We've about 5 or 6 minutes left, and then we're gonna take a quick 5-minute break, and then I'll be back with another stream. We're gonna look ahead to the Premier League. We're gonna look ahead to the Reds game against West Ham. But look, a few minutes still to go, so let's get through a few more questions. What else have we got? Mane taking the number 10 shirt will invigorate him, said Squizums. I think it's brilliant. I'm so happy. He seems to have got a boost from it, Charlie, already.
Yeah, definitely. In pre-season, he just looks full of confidence, doesn't he? Like, he's just, like, I mean, he's doing it last year, but just now, I mean, it's pre-season, they're playing at 70%, and he's destroying Napoli 5-0 with like, the front three, obviously, but next season, I think it's game over next season for everyone else. It's going to solidify that they're the best three attackers together collectively in the world. So yeah, already looks
fuck
amazing.
Everybody else. There you go. Boom. Take that. You know what? You're right. You're right. We've got to start saying these things. You are right. That's the best attacking three in the world. You can fuck your Messis, you can fuck your Neymars, you can fuck your Cristiano Ronaldos. I'm having our three, and I wouldn't change them for the world. A lot of people as well just saying congratulations on hitting 3K. You can congratulate us, which is great, but it's only because of you legends that we've got there. We said this all the time. This channel is your channel as much as it's our channel. We do this together. We go forward together. We fail together. We have our enjoyment together. And it's going to be a great, great season this year, guys. Ahmed Red says you'll hit 10k by Christmas. That would be fun. I don't even want to think that far ahead. That would be nuts.
I did look at our projected stats, and I think it was it's 12k by February, but that's just projected. Like, that goes off what's happening. I mean, if we're getting days where we're getting like 6, I mean, we're already at 3,010. So
Jesus, it keeps coming, guys. You are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much.
So if we're getting, I mean, I've got a live subscriber count here, and it's just going up and up, like 13 already. So if we're getting days like this on just normal night streams, and then we're getting, what on average would you say we get 200 subscribers on a watch along? It's like, and even more content that we're going to be producing. I mean, it can only go up from here. So
Dave said, don't forget the Friday Aka bet, Craig. Dave, mate, I have it sorted already. The bet is done. Don't worry about it. I have it ready to go. I will talk about it tomorrow. Guys, we're going to finish up on this stream now. Give us 2 or 3 minutes and we will be back, and we'll be looking ahead to the Premier League season. We'll be looking ahead to Liverpool's game against West Ham. I hope you guys can join us for that one. As I said, we just want to go, have a little bit of a break, grab something to eat real quick, and we'll come back then and talk to you guys about that one. So I hope you can join us again. Keep an eye out, because we will be back very, very soon. Up the motherfucking Reds.